Yeah, so I know it's hard to believe, but even I myself sometimes surrender to the hype. Hello there. So today we have a little bit something different going on. I do have a full face of makeup right here next to me. And what we're gonna do today is go over these products, which I bought, I admit. I bought these because they were super hyped up, they seemed super cool, or I just somehow, it just was in my own head telling me to buy them at first. So those are all things I kind of got like hyped up to buying, or things that I just kind of felt like I need to get, otherwise the FOMO is real. Some of them were really worth it, I feel like, and some of them were like, why? Just why? So I don't really necessarily want to blame anyone for these bad recommendations or good recommendations. I just want to try them out and tell you if I think these are worth the hype. So let's start off with priming. Listen, I've been using the Poreless Putty Primer for a while on camera, and I've been using it for a long time. The thing is, I don't think it's very blurry. Like, I don't mind it. I'm still gonna use it on my most porous areas, which is right here and on my nose and a bit on my chin. But the thing is that I don't really think this is all that good. It is kind of slidey and slippy, and it doesn't really blur my pores. I just don't think it's anything special. I do remember they used to compare it to the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. If this is what the Tatcha one is like, I don't even think I want it. Yeah, well, the same thing is this one. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Base All-in-One Primer and Moisturizer. This is old school YouTube stuff. Like when I was younger, I always thought to myself, oh my god, this is so expensive. I'm never gonna be able to even try this out. I got it on sale eventually in this smaller packaging. It's an interesting thing. It is a very thick moisturizer, and I do believe it does have some shea butter and stuff. So I'm just gonna take a bit and prime my face with it. I'm not impressed though. I've been using it for quite a long time. It doesn't do anything special for me. Maybe as a moisturizer, if you have very dry skin, this would be nice. But it gives you a little bit of grip. It smells nice. Funny enough, it smells exactly like I imagined. Also a little bit of the heaviness that I get when I put on something super heavy for my skin and I kind of start sweating underneath. It's not too strong, it's not too much, but I can feel it happening a little. At least it has the grip and it's moisturizing, which I think are good properties for a primer. So I can see why people like it, but at the same time, I don't really understand why you have to buy something so expensive for such simple properties. Foundation, we're getting bougie again. I'm sorry. Most of this video is probably gonna be pretty bougie, but this is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I mean, I got on the hype train way too late. I remember people used to talk about this 10 years ago, and I bought it in the summer this year. This is a very well-known foundation. This was the grandfather of all glowy and natural looking foundations back in the day, and everyone freaking loved it. I've been using it here and there, and I must say I do not like it. It's not good on me. It doesn't wear good at all, for some reason. I didn't have the energy to figure it out yet, but I'm not loving it. Maybe with an expensive primer like we're using today, it's gonna be better. Who knows? So I'm gonna use one pump, I think. Okay, maybe two. It has a very small pump. When I look at myself really up close, it does have nice finish. It doesn't look patchy or streaky or weird anywhere. The problem I have is that it's nothing special for the price. I could literally reach into my drawer right now and pull out 5 foundations that look the same, if not better. Which is something that really makes me think that maybe back in the day this was a super unique formula, and now it's just something that everyone does. I don't know, but I'm not loving it. The coverage is kind of medium light, I feel like. You can still see a lot of my skin peeking through. It does give you this nice natural luminous finish, which is nice. But again, I feel like I have so many foundations now that do that. Concealer, of course. The Nars, what's it even called? It doesn't have name on the packaging. It's the Nars Luminous, whatever, it's gonna be down here on the thing. It's the concealer everyone loves from Nars. I have the shade Vanilla Light 2, and I got it on a vacation at Sephora because I think I used up my concealer back there, so I wanted to try something different, and I went for this one. And I gotta say, I was not like super impressed. But again, I have a feeling that this kind of like more sheer and luminous formula is something that was unusual back at the day, but now everyone has it, so it's kind of like, what's the point? But this was definitely the OG. And like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, but I just kind of expected a little more, you know? The coverage is good. It is like, again, kind of high medium. It does have a nice luminous finish, but I wasn't like blown away. I was like, this is like my Maybelline concealer. Yeah, it's nice, but I don't feel like I need to spend this much money on a concealer. Now let's set it all, because I don't have any cream products today. I feel like all the cream products, like I was driving the hype train. I have this powder here from Douglas. If you don't know what Douglas is, it's kind of like a Sephora for certain parts of the world. They have like their own collection, they have all different kinds of brands, but this is like their own brand, and it's their Skin Augmenting Hydra Loose Powder. Instant cooling, blurring, anti-aging, and setting powder. So this was like so hyped up, it was sold out literally for like half a year. This was at a time when Becca stopped selling their like Hydra powder, which I really wanted to try, but yeah, shame on me, I guess. I never got to trying it. And I heard that this is similar. So I was like, okay, is it gonna be like the wet feeling powder? I want that. So I got it, and I don't know what's the hype about, honestly. So it looks like this. I really like the packaging. It has like this like sifting net, and it has the little lid so it doesn't spill out everywhere. It's so fragrant though, like. I really don't like the smell, but it's such a weird powder. It's like, yeah, your under eyes feel sad, but they also feel wet at the same time. Your brain is just confused from this. I find that if I pack it on too much, it does start to kind of separate my face sometimes. So I've been a little bit like shying away from using it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. So I'm just gonna powder my face with it and we'll see how it looks. The funny thing is, it doesn't feel set at all. Like, you literally feel like you have something wet on your face, and then you touch your face and you're like, no, that's not wet. So it's hard to set your face with it because you cannot really tell if it's powdered or not. It's a whole experience I'm not really enjoying. One thing that I found very funny was when I read the reviews before I bought it, and one lady was like, just the powder feels like a powder. And then I received it and I thought, like, lady, have you ever seen a powder? Because that's not what it feels like or looks like or smells like or has a finish like at all. So it's really nice. I really like the way it blurs your skin. It blurs really well. I like the finish, but it is kind of tricky to work with. So I'm still kind of on the fence if I actually like it or not. But I feel like if you have very dry skin, or if your makeup tends to separate because you dry out through the day, this might be a good powder to like salvage that. But I'm not sure. The bronzer I want to talk about is the Marc Jacobs bronzer. Again, there was this time in the old school YouTube, and don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's also just the bronzer. This just sounds like I'm so ungrateful for any recommendation on anything. But just really the amount of hypes some of these products get, I find almost like unsettling. So this is the bronzed part of my face. It's very pigmented. Wow. I kind of underestimated how pigmented this is. I mean, I do like the tone of it and like the shade and the texture, but I remember I bought it when Marc Jacobs like stopped their makeup line, which was like a month after it started selling here, and I got it like on sale and it was still super expensive. So like, I like it. I reach for it quite a bit, but I don't think it's like the best bronzer I own. I think it's nice. I like it. I do think this one is worth the hype. But at the same time, in like the bronzer category of products I have, I don't reach for it every time I do my makeup at all, actually. I kind of reach for it like once a week. At least this one though, I like. For blush, of course, I have the Milani Luminoso. The old school packaging with like the bottom mirror just gets me. This is it. It's a baked blush that's orange, and everyone was losing their mind about it, and I get it, because back in the day, you would be surprised how hard it was to get an orange blush. I'm just gonna go in. And I must say, I like it. It's not bad at all. It's a very pretty blush. It's kind of glowy because it's baked. I understand why people liked it, especially, as I said, because of like the orange blush shortage. I mean, I enjoyed a fair share of makeup looks with this blush, and I do like it. But now I do have a lot of different ones that I think I like more. But it's definitely a staple. I can see why it was a staple. It's not super expensive, so I'm not gonna hate on it. It's nice. It's cute. I like it. For a highlighter, we do have an Ofra highlighter, right? I like their highlighters quite a lot. I have a few of them. This one, not my favorite though. This is the NikkieTutorials Glazed Donut in the new packaging, of course. This was like unbelievably popular at some point. And also because this was like this kind of highlighter that was kind of hard to get, you know, like super icy but super reflective. It was that highlighting times back at the day. I mean, it's a very good highlighter, like objectively, it's amazing. The thing is that I don't go for shades like this at all, ever, nowadays. So it's just very icy for me now. But it's definitely a good quality highlighter. It's nice. And of course, if you don't like this shade in particular, she has many different shades with them. They have many different shades with other people. This one in particular though, I kind of thought I'm gonna like it a little bit more when I got it. Now for the eyebrows. I feel like there were two ways you could go with your eyebrows. Either you could jump on the Benefit hype train, or you could jump into the ABH hype train. I decided to go for both, but then I kind of stick a bit more with ABH, I feel like. I don't know for what reason. I just feel like I like the brows more than I like the Precisely My Brow Pencil. And that's what we're gonna be using today. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade Soft Brown. It's just a regular thin pencil. I feel like there was a time when people were talking about just regular eyebrow pencils, like they were miles different. I was using this one a lot at some point. Now I'm not really into pencils anymore, so it's not my go-to product, but I feel like it's a good pencil. Like if you find this on sale and you are using brow pencils for most part, this is not a bad investment at all. I don't even remember how to draw my brows with a pencil. It does look a little bit warmer on camera, I think, than it looks in real life. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. Like, I genuinely really enjoyed the ABH brow products, at least the pencils. Even the thicker one. I like the softness of the pencil, so I really do enjoy this one. And then the goddamn brow freeze. You probably already heard me say I dislike this a lot. I was so disappointed when I got this, like so disappointed. It is like a brow shaping wax slash soap thing, whatever. You're not supposed to wet this one, it just works on its own. And the thing is, it just doesn't look good, like ever. It makes everything red. That's the first thing I hate. I'm gonna take the spoolie here and just pick up like a little bit. Because in theory, this was amazing. It was like, oh yeah, it's gonna hold the brows in place. They're gonna look laminated. It's gonna be amazing. Well, in reality, it made literally every single brow product I have red. I'm not sure I even tried it with their own product, so we'll see if I end up with red eyebrows again. You can definitely like feel it in the brows. I don't remember if this dries down or not, so I think we're just gonna let it do its thing. It's very sticky, but it looks like my brows are not red, which means that it works well with their own pencil, which is a good marketing move, I gotta admit. Now it looks a bit better than I remember. I haven't used it in a while. I don't mind it now. We'll see how it looks in a bit. This is the Nars Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, which is tinted, and I have it in the shade Light. This is such like a viral thing. And of course I got it because it was on sale at some point, and I was very curious to see if it's good, and I have to admit, it's very good. It's actually one of the products from this video that I can say that I use on the daily. I really do. This is like my go-to eyeshadow base, no matter what. It has like this beautiful, little bit sticky finish. It's just overall, I feel like it's one of the most like deservedly hyped products I have here today, because it's genuinely so good. And there we go, my eyes are primed. I have nothing bad to say about this. We're getting into the guilty pleasure section of this video. This is the Pat McGrath palette. You'll know her. This is the, what was it even called? I don't remember. Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction. Again, I was a little late to the party. Actually, a lot late to the party. I remember I bought this during COVID for my birthday because I wasn't going anywhere. And all of a sudden I had quite a lot of money and I thought, might as well treat myself. And I did treat myself to this beautiful palette. It looks used because it is used. I use it a lot. I actually really like it. I mean, the thing is, like, nothing really justifies an eyeshadow palette that costs this much unless you really want it. And I really wanted it. I mean, I remember watching like every single review from everyone I trust so I can form an opinion. And it was so hard because people were like, yeah, it's good, but it's so expensive. I don't think it's worth it just because of the money portion, but it's kind of worth it for the eyeshadow portion. And I was just very confused. And then I just went for it. And little do you know, I actually really like this palette. The thing that makes these palettes so special is like those trippy ass formulas, which are these 4 shades on this side, which are insane. Like, I don't have anything like that. And I have a lot of eyeshadow. A lot. I'm just gonna do something semi-simple. I don't even know. We'll see. Not my favorite look, okay? That's the one thing about this palette. Every time I use it, I feel kind of like paralyzed by the shades because in my head they don't necessarily match all that well, and then I'm like just confused about what to use, and it's difficult. But just to like give you the idea, okay, like, oh, this is concealer, don't mind that. Those are the shimmers, and those really are unreal. They're really hard to show on camera, but hopefully you can kind of see the magic happen. To me, this is worth it. The mattes in this palette, however, I was surprised how hard are these to blend. Like the dark brown, which is the shade I would usually use the most, is so hard to blend. It really gives me a tough time. Every time I use the palette, I don't know, it's just a bit frustrating because the palette is so expensive and I want to love it. And I do love it, but the mattes. So let's move on to another thing I have here. The Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. These pencils were just marketed to me as the best pencil out there for years. And not that I didn't believe it, but I already had like my favorites in the more affordable department. And I must say I still kind of stick to those. But I have a couple shades that I got on sale. I think I'm going to use this one, the khaki one, which is in the shade Stash. When you buy it on sale, it's like a more expensive, affordable eyeliner, so I don't mind buying them on sale. I think they're totally worth it. For the full price, I'm not sure. Maybe if you just want like one specific shade real bad, or just like one shade that you really want to stay on super well, then I would go for it. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't have every color in their formula and I don't regret it. Let me just add a little bit of something to the bottom lash line. Let's move on. For eyeliner, I have the OG KVD tattoo liner. This was so unbelievably popular, and I understand why, because it was back at the day when we didn't have many brush tip liners, And then we started getting them all over. So now it's like not that hard to get another eyeliner that's gonna be just as good, but a lot more affordable. But back in the day, this was a thing. So I'm just gonna do a quick wing and we can continue. I kind of got out of the habit of eyeliner. So let's go in with a mascara. Of course, the Too Faced Better Than Sex. I didn't even purchase this myself. My friend got it from me for Christmas, I think. I sometimes travel with it. The thing is, it's not that good. It's just really not. I like the brush, and I like the brush like this on most mascaras, but it's very heavy. I find that after a couple hours, my lashes are just pointing down. That's just how it is with a lot of mascaras. I like the effect a lot, but it just doesn't necessarily last on me that long, so it's not a mascara I would reach for all that often. I feel like mascara is something very personalized. Like, sometimes you love a mascara, you recommend it to a friend and they hate it, and that happens a lot. Like, mascara is something like very specific to you, and some people just, you know, cannot stand different types of brushes or different types of formulas. So when someone recommends you a mascara, or someone just says a mascara is like genuinely good, it's not gonna apply to everyone. So there's that. And now for the lip, Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks. I haven't been using liquid lipsticks for like good 2 years, I feel like. So that kind of gives you an idea of how old this is. But I don't think I even opened this one. This is the shade Leo. And it's the collaboration with Morphe. I don't have any standalone Jeffree Star liquid lipsticks anymore. Let's put it on a little and then we'll put on a gloss because I hate matte lips right now. I used to do this every day. How did I even do that? It's so hard now to trace your lips without a pencil. I do like good vibrant colors on me, but this for some reason doesn't feel right. I actually used to love these lipsticks when I was wearing matte liquid lips, especially the shade Can't Relate. I still have it somewhere, I think. It's so good. And also Scorpio, but I lost it somewhere and I'm still sad about it to this day because I never found it. They're fairly comfortable. They do dry out my lips after some time, but every lipstick does, and I can understand why they were popular. Now to the gloss. We have Lunar Beauty. This is one of those that I kind of, because Lunar Beauty is not easy to get, so I really had to like think, do I really need the gloss? I was just very curious, okay? Like, if I trust someone with lip gloss, it's probably Manny. So I thought, you know what, we should. So I got the shade Celine. It's like a hybrid between Fenty glosses and like the best lip balm you own. It's a very like weird, but really good weird. But this gloss in particular, I think it was in my favorites video. It's like the best gloss I own. On its own, this kind of sheer like peachy orange base with like gold reflect and like then all different kinds of reflect. It's just the most beautiful gloss on its own. Over this super dark color, I don't think it's that good, but it's still one of the best glosses, if not the best gloss that I own. Definitely worth the hype. 10 out of 10. Now let's set it all with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, another one that I feel like is totally worth the hype. I got the jumbo one. I love this. It's so good. It's not even the product. I don't feel like this is the best setting spray I've ever used in terms of the longevity of my makeup, but I definitely feel like it's the best in the application because the mist is so even that you have to apply it evenly. You just have to. And this is the finished look. So what do we think? I'm not loving the look all that much. I must say that some of these are really giving me like better vibes than when I usually use them. For example, the base. The base is looking pretty stunning. I think I'll have to like give another shot to the foundation and maybe even the primer because I feel like this combination and the powder. For some reason, this combo of like a heavy primer, sheer-ish foundation, and like the kind of potent and hydrating powder leaves me looking like beautiful. The eyeshadow is nice. It is a little bit patchy in the matte parts, and that's exactly what I was talking about. I struggle. The shimmer is just stunning. We didn't even have like a flop. I feel like I told you everything about every product here. And by the way, the brows are still sticky as hell. That's why I don't like this. Not for me, not for me. The brow freeze is probably the thing here that I dislike the most. So I think that is it. Do you think these products are worth the hype? Let me know. And also, thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing. And if you want to see more videos where I talk about makeup, you can check out the playlist. See ya!